Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
EcoBank.
Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament after the Speaker finds prima facie evidence of potential disrespect to Parliament.
Still in Parliament, Speaker Alban Bagbin rules that NPP MP for Tandai remains a member of the House until Monday, December 1.
Also in the bulletin, government vows to complete stalled Koforidua affordable housing project.
Coming up in business news, Ghana Revenue Authority moves to clamp down on traders failing to issue VAT receipts as offenders face heavy penalties, including possible jail terms.
Elsewhere on the continent, General Horta Ntanaman installed as Guinea-Bissau's transitional president a day after soldiers toppled the civilian leadership. We are live around the world on 3news.com. We are streaming on that website as well as Facebook and on YouTube, so do let your messages come in.
We begin from Parliament, where Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin is set to face the Privileges Committee of the House. This was after the Speaker found prima facie evidence that he may have disrespected the authority of Parliament.
It will be recalled that Afenyo-Markin was removed from Ghana's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, but according to the Majority Leader, who made a complaint of contempt against his counterpart, the Minority Leader still went to ECOWAS. He described this as a clear disregard of the authority of Parliament. Delivering a ruling on the complaint of the Majority Leader, the Speaker said a prima facie case has been made against the Minority Leader for contempt of Parliament.
Having reviewed the complaint, the standing orders, and the governing principles, I am satisfied that the matter raised prima facie implicates the dignity and institutional integrity of this House. Pursuant to Order 34.1, I therefore refer the matter, the complaint lodged by the Honourable Member for Bawku Central and a Majority Leader to the Committee on Privileges and Immunities for examination, inquiry, investigation, and report to the House.
Alban Bagbin has referred the matter to the Privileges Committee for determination and recommendations.
The committee is directed to ascertain the relevant facts giving rise to the complaint, including the actions taken by the House and by the Honourable Member concerned. Review those actions taken within the framework of our standing orders and the applicable protocols of the ECOWAS Parliament. Determine whether the conduct, if established, constitutes contempt of Parliament or a breach of privilege under Orders 30 and 31A. Make appropriate recommendations to the House for its consideration.
Right, so it was expected that the Speaker was going to be giving a ruling on what the Minority Leader had put himself in, which was that he had been told explicitly not to go to the ECOWAS Parliament because he was not part of the committee from Ghana's Parliament. However, he was there, and it's on the back of that that the Speaker has given or referred him to the Privileges Committee. But let's look at what the standing orders of Parliament say about what happens to a member of the House when they are found in contempt of Parliament. So Order 36 of the Standing Orders of Parliament says, and I quote, "If the Committee of Privileges finds a member in contempt or in breach of privilege, Parliament may, 1, reprimand the member, suspend the member for up to 9 months and or expel the member. So it goes on to say that if the member is actually found in contempt of Parliament, he could also be suspended and must immediately leave and stay out of Parliament's precincts, forfeit all allowances for the suspension period, and has equivalent salary deductions if also a minister, deputy minister, or deputy speaker is found to have been in contempt. Again, it goes on to say there's the likelihood of expulsion if it is valid, and that happens if 7 days notice of the motion is given and is supported by 2/3 majority of all MPs in the House. So that's what's captured in the standing orders of Parliament, and it's on the back of this that the Speaker is asking to hear from the Privileges Committee, whom Afenyo Markin, the Minority Leader, will be facing in the coming days.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament has ruled that member for Tandai, Matthew Nyindam, remains a member of the House until December 1, when his appeal of the Tamale High Court ruling will expire. It follows a request by the majority that the member must not be allowed to participate in proceedings.
On Wednesday, November 26, the Majority Chief Whip raised a concern challenging the presence of Matthew Nyindam in the office, stating that he was liable for contempt of court.
The Honorable Nyindam is now a persona non grata. I pray that he must even be marched out of the chamber. Never, as leader of this House, did I advocate that Honorable Jechikwesi, having lost a high court case, should be marched out of this chamber.
The Minority Leader then addressed the press and accused the bench of shameful conduct.
We are criticizing their shameful conduct. We are not afraid. We are ready to be in Nsawam.
On Thursday, November 27, Speaker Gbagbin delivered his verdict, saying once a notice of appeal has been filed, the MP remains an active member until December 1.
The ruling of the Tamale High Court was delivered on the 24th of November 2025. The statutory 7-day stay therefore remains in force until 1st December 2025. During this period, the High Court's ruling cannot form the basis for the Speaker to instruct the clerk to notify the Electoral Commission that the Pandai seat is vacant.
He further directed the member to participate in proceedings.
It's therefore premature to say that the Honorable Matthew Nyindam is disqualified from entering and participating in the proceedings of the House, because this period still falls within the 7 days mandatory stay of execution of the order. Honorable members, this is not a declaratory order. It is an executive order that was delivered by the High Court.
We're staying in Parliament because the Majority Leader, Mahama Ayariga, delivered a special sermon during his concluding remarks on the budget, asking former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to return to Ghana just as Jesus asked Zacchaeus to descend from a tree. This erupted laughter in the chamber, with the Minority Leader rather saying that government has failed the Galamsey fight.
After many years of being taught by Ken Ofori-Atta, which we have learned the Bible, so today I'll refer him to Luke 19, verse 1 to 10. Luke 19, verse 1 to 10. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector. What was Ken Ofori-Atta? chief tax collector. He was in charge of GRA. And what do GRA do? They collect tax. So clearly, Zacchaeus in the Bible resembles Ken Ofori-Atta. And he was wealthy. A man who owns a bank, data bank, owns enterprise. Is he not a wealthy man? Is there no resemblance between Zacchaeus and Ken Ofori-Atta? When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I say to Ken Ofori-Atta, come back to Ghana immediately. Zacchaeus, Ofori-Atta, Ofori-Atta. And Jesus said to Zacchaeus, I must stay at your house today. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, we tried to go and stay in his house recently. So he came down at once. And Jesus welcomed him gladly.
This government has surrendered to the Galamsey activities. And let me be very clear. Let me even make it graver. This government has become its enabler. They are not fighting illegal mining. The NDC government, through Gold Board, is rather financing it. This is giving it state endorsement. So all that they do, claiming that NIMO is out there to enforce, is falsehood. Today, members of NIMO are getting heads, shot at, dying needlessly in a fight their own government has abandoned. But let us remember, this is a country that lost 8 innocent souls, including top 2 ministers, on their way to a program fighting illegal mining. Instead, it has set up a gold board to buy gold it cannot trace, from miners it cannot verify, in a system designed for complicity rather than enforcement. This is horrifying. This is a betrayal of those 8 souls. It is a betrayal of every soldier risking their life. It is a betrayal of every Ghanaian who want cleaner water and future for their children. If this government cannot trace the gold, it must not buy the gold.
In more news tonight, the Ghana Gold Board Jewelry says it currently cannot meet local demand of jewelry. As a result, it is ready to expand in order to meet both local and international demand. At a news conference in Accra on Thursday, the Managing Director, Gertrude Emefa-Donkor, said they have initiated the process of retooling its factory, restructure operations and rebrand with one clear mission: to transform Ghanaian gold into world-class products.
Gertrude Emefa-Donkor said Ghana has been Africa's #1 gold producer, yet for far too long it imports finished jewelry from other countries such as Dubai, India and Europe. She said that narrative would soon change as the Gold Board Jewelry is retooling, restructuring and rebranding to transform gold into world-class products. The managing director added, soon the Ghanaian craftsman will be put on the global stage with the production of jewelry here in Ghana.
1 ounce of Ghanaian gold can now create wealth for generations of Ghanaian instead of one foreign refinery. Now this is value addition in action. This is forex retention in action. This is Ghana moving from raw exporter to global brand. In the coming years, you will see Gold Board Jewelry flagship stores all over Ghana. You will see our handcrafted pieces in Lagos, in South Africa, in London, in New York, in Switzerland, and in Dubai.
She said the new Gold Board Jewelry e-commerce website, a 24-hour digital gold showroom, will support the country's value addition agenda and create employment opportunity for young people.
For the first time, owning a piece of Ghanaian gold is as easy as a few clicks away. This initiative supports Ghana's national value addition agenda. Every purchase keeps foreign exchange in Ghana. It moves Ghana from being a raw exporter of gold to global jewelry powerhouse, strengthening our economy and national pride. because every cedi or dollar you spend with us stays here in Ghana.
Let's shift our attention to education. The Minister in charge of Education, Haruna Idrisu, has revealed that some senior high school students are using government-distributed tablets to watch pornography. About 1.3 million tablets are expected to be distributed nationwide to students under the free senior high school policy, with some 980,000 already deployed. The curriculum and other education materials will be offloaded onto the tablets for academic use. He says government is working to ensure there are adequate restrictions on the use of the tablets.
I inherited a contract worth about 337 million US dollars, where some 1.3 million tablets was to be distributed across the country to all free senior high schools in the country, so that learners can have access to digital tools. I'm told that deployment of that is around 980,000. We are through GET Fund supporting the distribution across the country. But my attention this morning, Mr. Speaker, was drawn to the fact that many of the devices are not customized, and the students are using it for other purposes, including pornography, which is not acceptable. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, government is taking a high view of it, and there must be restrictions as to what the tablets can be used for, and it should be used strictly for purpose of study. The curriculum is offloaded onto the tablet. It will facilitate digital learning. Mr. Speaker, we are to be minded that when you are training students, you are training them to be globally competitive, and therefore we have to take investment in digital skills and digital technology and its deployment much more seriously with increased investment. I thank you.
In other news, President John Mahama has launched the Vegetable Development Project under the Feed Ghana initiative at Kukom in the Afo region. The project forms part of government's agricultural agenda to tackle food security, expand irrigation, and increase the production of key commodities.
President Mahama told the gathering of farmers, traditional leaders and project partners that a modern pack house will be constructed to handle grading, sorting, packaging and cold chain management of all vegetables produced.
Tomatoes, onions, pepper and other vegetables are indispensable to every Ghanaian household. Yet for many years our inability to produce adequate volumes of these products, particularly during the dry season, has forced us to rely heavily on imports. These imports expose our economy to price fluctuations, foreign exchange losses, and unstable supply chains. The Vegetable Development Project is designed to address this long-standing structural weakness and reposition Ghana as a net vegetable producer. And so through this project, we aim to build a competitive and sustainable vegetable industry anchored firmly on our own domestic production.
He said the project will be completed within 12 months and replicated across the country, particularly in the northern regions where water shortages often affect farming.
Farmers involved have begun receiving substantial support in the form of improved seeds, organic fertilizer, agronomic training, and digital advisory services. The Vegetable Development Project is not a standalone intervention. It is integrated into our broader Feed Ghana 2025 to 2028 agricultural transformation agenda, which seeks to restore Ghana's food security and agro-industrial dynamism.
The president noted the vegetable sector will create avenues for job creation if strengthened, adding that government is laying the foundation for a 24-hour agricultural economy. Later, the president also broke ground for the construction of the chicken and meat processing center in Bechem.
To some other stories now, for nearly 19 years, work on the Koforidua Affordable Housing Project remains stalled, worsening housing deficit. During a tour of the project site, the Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, reaffirmed government's commitment to completing the project once funding is secured.
The Affordable Housing Project, which began in 2006 under former President John Agyekum Kufuor, has remained abandoned for 19 years. The project, when completed, will comprise a 345 units of 19 blocks, including 53 unit bedroom apartments and 288 two-bedroom apartments. It was intended to help ease accommodation challenges in the region. The Works, Housing and Water Resources Minister, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, and technical personnel from the State Housing toured the project site to assess its current condition. The ministry selected the State Housing Company Limited a couple of years ago to complete the project, but funding gaps hindered progress.
To the WA site, I've been to the Tamale site. We took over all of the sites, but because the funding didn't materialize for Koforidua, we kind of paused. But we do still have the capacity whenever ministry is ready. Our team is ready, the drawings are all present. There's not much to do in terms of modifications, but we should be able to get back on it very quickly. So we can show.
The Minister of Works, Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, says efforts will be made to complete the project once financial support is secured. He, however, did not give timelines.
It was taxpayers' money that was used to start it. This is the same Ghanaians' money that we used to start it. So whether it was started during our era or before our era, so we're here to assess it, to see what government can do to come back on site and ensure that the project is completed. Look for funding to start the project.
The New Durban North Municipal Chief Executive, Samuel Adongo, highlighted the economic potential the project will bring to the municipality when completed.
We have a regional hospital which is just close, and which the government has also assured us that they are coming to complete it for us. We have a university, All Nations University, which is just opposite this particular area. And we have a lot of other government regional offices around this area. So I see it will be a very important project that will serve the people within the region and the municipality to be successful.
And away from the eastern region, residents of the Upper East region have been urged to take advantage of the upcoming gun amnesty period and surrender their illicit arms to the police. The call was made during a capacity building workshop for border security agencies in Paga. Castro Sanyala, our correspondent in the Upper East region, has more in this report. We do apologize for the loss of sound on the story. In other news, MTN has launched its 2025 edition of the 16 Days of Activism with a call to unite against digital violence targeting women and girls. The company says this year's theme reflects the urgent need to protect users from online harassment, exploitation, and harmful behavior across digital platforms.
MTN says its focus is to use technology, education and partnerships to keep women and girls safe online. The company explained that as digital use grows, the risks also increase, making it necessary for communities, families and institutions to work together.
It's important that we start with the children. We show them what they shouldn't be doing on the internet. We talked about cyber hygiene and all that. And then also how they can support others. So that's why we are here. We'll be having 16 days of this kind of awareness raising around the country, partnering with Dove Soup wherever we go.
Digital violence has become one of the biggest concerns in the online space. With more young people using smartphones and social media every day, cases involving cyberbullying, non-consensual sharing of images, online stalking and fraud targeting women continue to rise. The Domestic Violence and Victim Support Units of the Police Service say the rapid growth of digital platforms has created new avenues for abuse, making digital safety a key part of today's conversations on gender-based violence.
It's a call on all of us to take responsibility for creating safe spaces, both offline and online. Use the internet responsibly. Let no one push you into cyberbullying.
Students present said the campaign gives them a clearer understanding of online safety.
Through the Dove Soup and with MTN sponsoring them, we can help unite them and reduce that.
MTN says it will continue to drive awareness throughout the 16 days of activism using its platforms and partnerships to push for safer digital spaces for women and girls.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. We have business, sports and entertainment all coming up. Do stay with us.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal. Pepsodent.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paints because with just small paints, I paint huge area, meaning more profit for me. Great value for money.
As an architect, Flamingo paint, with its well-researched and solid composition, guarantees durability for all my buildings.
Flamingo paint, superior hiding, superior coverage, superior durability. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You're not sure what causes the panic, but if you're
Masquerades are scary, but bills shouldn't scare you. Be one of 10,000 lucky winners when you deposit multiples of 400 Ghana cedis or take a loan in multiples of 4,000 Ghana cedis to win up to 1.5 million Ghana cedis in cash and prizes, 1-year insurance cover, and more. Tap into vibes in the EcoBank 5-Star Enjoyment Promo. Up to 15% discount when you use our cards and digital platforms. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or text asking you to verify sensitive information like your PIN, Ghana card, or bank card information. Pay better attention to details.
Yes, next. Hey, at your bench.
Good evening. Welcome to Business on News 360. I am Menu Aful. The Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, is rolling out strict nationwide enforcement to ensure all VAT-registered businesses issue receipts and remit the tax collected to government. The Domestic Tax Division says failure to comply will attract stiff sanctions from hefty fines to potential imprisonment.
The Ghana Revenue Authority says while many traders charge VAT, some fail to issue official invoices, preventing governments from receiving rightful tax revenue. Acting Commissioner, Domestic Tax Division, Dr. Martin Colbill Yamburija, is urging consumers to demand receipts whenever they make purchases from VAT-registered outlets, warning that without an invoice, taxes paid are often pocketed by traders instead of the state.
We're encouraging every taxpayer, especially VAT traders, to comply. That anytime they make a supply, they should issue the VAT invoice and retain a copy for verification by the Ghana Revenue Authority. I also want to encourage consumers, especially Ghanaians, that when you buy from a VAT registered person, insist on your VAT receipt. Because what is there is that the person might have charged you the VAT and you have paid. But if you don't collect a receipt, the money will not go to the state and they will all be losers.
Dr. Yamburija added that penalties will depend on the severity of the breach, with taxpayers who deliberately evade VAT payments facing up to triple the value of unpaid tax or criminal prosecution.
Our team will be coming around, and if you are found not to be compliant with the law, we'll make sure that we'll take the necessary actions against you. Depending on the gravity of the offense, you could be paying double the tax that you didn't pay. It could even be 3 times. And then if we realize that you are deliberately doing it, we could also prosecute you. We could lead you to be imprisoned for a period of time.
Away from that, the United Nations Residence Coordinator in Ghana, Mr. Zia Chowdhury, urges the Ghanaian government to continue its efforts in reducing its already declining public debt. He commended the Ghana International Investment, Trade and Finance Conference on its 9th annual meeting for bringing together stakeholders to discuss debt restructuring and the maiden AFCFTA Tertiary Students' Congress. Nurat Mohammed reports.
On November 27, the Ghana International Investment, Trade and Finance Conference, GITFIC, held its annual meeting to have dialogues on ways to handle the current global financial hardships, which have placed extreme exigencies on several member states and governments across the world. This convening is on the back of the GITFIC Agenda 2031, a 6-year development agenda which seeks to highlight the Global Debt Initiative and the African Continental Free Trade Area after. Selassie Akom is the Chief Executive Officer of GITFIC.
Ghana is doing so fantastic, and so we intend to use our beloved country as the cornerstone in advancing the Global Debt Initiative, where we loop in member states and try to have them understand how Ghana is doing it so they can take advantage of and also implement or replicate same in their various countries. So this is what encompasses the GITFIC Agenda 2031.
Among the keynote speakers were British economist Ann Pettifer and United Nations Resident Coordinator in Ghana, Zia Chowdhury, who intimated the major pioneering role Ghana can play in upholding proper and sustainable debt management.
For me, one of the biggest challenges facing Ghana, and I'm looking at the young people in this audience, is not the debt problem. It's not the fiscal problem. It's the problem of youth unemployment. It's far too high in Ghana, particularly in urban and also rural areas. And in my view, the government should be freed up from its debt service obligations in order to transfer resources towards the interests of those young people.
Debt relief was no longer seen as a charitable act by the rich guys and the big banks, including the guys sitting here. It's not a charity by them. It was seen as an act of economic justice, of repairing something which was fundamentally wrong.
Let's now take a look at how the cedi is faring against other trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are faring on the global market. Well, that's it for Business Tonight on News 360. My name is Menu Afo. Stay with us. Sports news come up next.
Sports segment is brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. We start off with our first story where Ghana referee Daniel Ninaye has been selected as one of the officials at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, making him the only Ghanaian official on the 73-man shortlist. Now, Laye, a graduate of the Accra Academy, has a huge reputation on the continent, having handled matches in the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederation Cup, and Ghana's biggest games, including Heart of Oak versus Asante Kotoko. He is set to also officiate at the tournament next month, having refereed some of the big games at the previous tournament in Ivory Coast. With his experience as a video assistant referee and an on-field official in previous tournaments, Laye is expected to handle some of the biggest games at the competition in Morocco next month. Let's do some more here, where football has witnessed countless talents rise, fall, and rise again, but few stories capture the heart quite like that of Daniel Opare. Now, at 35 years, the Ghanaian defender has drawn the curtains on a career defined by brilliance and resilience. There's more in the following 3 sports reports.
Daniel Opare has officially retired from football at age 35, ending a career filled with talent, trials, and unforgettable lessons. He made the announcement in an emotional Instagram post, writing, quote, "I wore every jersey with pride, respect, and no regrets," end quote. Opare's journey began in Ghana, rising through Volta Academy, the Ajax Academy, and Ashanti Gold. His big breakthrough came at the 2007 Under-17 World Cup, where he played all 7 games and became one of the most exciting young defenders in the world, even named among world soccer's 50 most exciting teenagers on the planet. At just 17, he was called into Ghana's AFCON 2008 provisional squad, but missed out after a late injury. Still, his talent earned him a move to Real Madrid Castilla and later a strong spell at Standard Liège, where he made over 80 appearances. His career took him across Europe, playing for clubs like Porto, Augsburg, Besiktas, Lens, Antwerp, Zulte Waregem, and Terrain, where he represented Ghana at almost every level, winning the Under-20 World Cup in 2009 and playing at the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Injuries, however, shaped what could have been part of his story. Opare suffered 11 major injuries and missed around 76 matches, stopping him from reaching the superstar heights many predicted in 2007. Opare may not have become the superstar many predicted in 2007, but he achieved greatness in his own way and leaves behind a legacy of perseverance that future generations can learn from.
Now, before we go, let's just get the latest from the Under-17 FIFA World Cup, where Portugal secured a Duarte Cunha. Cabral's composed finish only sealed the championship, but also elevated his goal tally to 7 for the tournament, leaving him just 1 behind Austria, Johannes Moser, who finished as the competition's top scorer. Or you can get more updates on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and up next on the bulletin is Entertainment with Noella Dongo.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Mr. Simon, says the union has introduced several initiatives to empower musicians and help them navigate the demands of the digital music era, particularly in areas such as streaming and music monetization. Now, as the union marks its Golden Jubilee, he also outlined his vision for a stronger, more inclusive and more impactful musica in the years ahead.
Founded in 1975, the Musicians Union of Ghana, Musiga, has been at the forefront of promoting Ghanaian music and advocating for the rights and welfare of musicians. According to the union's president, Bessa Simons, Musiga has played a pivotal role in shaping the music industry, providing support to artists and representing their interests. Speaking to 3 Entertainment, Simons highlighted the union's efforts to equip musicians with the tools and resources needed to thrive in today's rapidly evolving digital music landscape.
Workshops that will help musicians to know that times have changed. Everything is at a digital store. We've done this across the length and breadth of Ghana, so all musicians know that these days, after your recordings, after your master, you have to put your song on a digital store. And I think this is one of the achievements of Musiga. In going further, we have trainers at the regional level. Once you finish with your recordings and you don't know how to put it on a digital store, once you're a member of Musiga, you go to the office and they will take you through the system, how to do proper monetization so that when money comes, it will trickle down to your accounts.
On the royalty collection system, Simons noted that while progress has been made, certain areas still need to be strengthened to ensure musicians fully benefit from their creative work.
I think, and we Musiga, we believe that from next year, January going, we should all push for a fully digital CMO system in Ghana, which means wherever they play your music or any user, once they use your music, will reflect in the digital space so that you can check on your phone and see that your music was played here. I got 6 CDs or 10 CDs. And there's a lot of work to be done. We have to set the prices. We have to make sure we have all the codes. We as Musiga, we're going to be working closely with GAMRO for us to achieve this thing.
Looking ahead, he outlined his vision for the future of Musiga.
My vision is to equip Ghanaian musicians, make them self-sufficient so that they will know their music and the business that comes with it, and also support each other so that they will become independent musicians and make money out of music.
And now to some more stories. Ghanaian actress Gloria Safo has called on movie producers to ensure better pay and welfare for veteran actors, many of whom she says have been overlooked and underappreciated. Now, she emphasized the sacrifices made by older actors who lay the foundation for the success of today's stars. The veterans paved the way for us to have opportunities. Back then, there were no contracts or appearance fees, and they certainly weren't earning the large sums that cast command today, she noted. Now, Safo added many of them are able to manage it now because of how well they supported their children who are helping to take care of them. Professionally, they work tirelessly, but often at a personal loss. Well, that's it for the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
On the international front, Guinea-Bissau's military has said it installed General Horta Intan Naman as transitional president on Thursday, a day after soldiers toppled the civilian leadership in a swift power grab made before the results of a weekend election could be announced. Wearing a military uniform and flanked by other military officials, Intan was sworn in on Thursday in a ceremony broadcast on state television. It was the 9th coup in West Africa as well as Central Africa in 5 years, and continued a pattern of instability in Guinea-Bissau, a notorious cocaine transport hub with a long history of military interventions and politics.
And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us. I am Martin Osiedu-Dati.
And I am Portia Gabo. Do join Alfred Okansa at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.